Hi everyone. Well, today I'm going to be engraving a little bit more. I'm going to be engraving into the bottom, as in drilling into the base of this lovely crystal cullet and creating hopefully some lovely foliage coming up so that it looks like it's really inside the cullet, which it will be. We might even strike oil, who knows? I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. Let's get on with it.
Well, this is a fine permanent marker, and I'm just going to mark a couple of places where I think I would like to add one of my funny little pokey things. I don't know what they're going to be, but this is a bit of an experiment. Not what you kind of normally do with a masterpiece, but why not? Just marking a couple of places where I think I would like to start. Ooh, it shrunk. I've got a little piece of cullet, which I thought I would just demonstrate a few things. Here I'm trying to work out which would be the best way my cullet is going to stand. And that's basically what I will do with all cullets that I work with. And look at the best front-facing area. You can see it was a little bit wobbly in one place. Anyway, you get the idea. Because I'm going to do a little test run on this little piece, which obviously, ultimately, I suppose I'm going to have to turn this into something underwater-like. At some point. It'll make a cute little ornament. So I've got a small diamond burr and a fair amount of water dripping. And I'll start off slowly. The drill is not running super fast. It's just steady. Keep lifting it up because it's going to be getting hot and the water is helping, though I don't have enough flow here, but there we go, that's a bit better. And you can see I'm just pressing, not too hard. I don't want to mess up my drill. Can you see it there? Okay, so basically that's what I'm looking for. And here I'm having a look at my main piece and I'm sorting out in my mind the direction. Because once you turn it over, it's a little bit disorientating. And you think, okay, the drill can go in all sorts of directions, but it's going to go upwards. There are a couple of little lips on the base here, and I'm not going exactly in the spot that I actually put the permanent marker. And I don't think I really needed to do that, to be honest, so I'll be removing that. In fact, I scribbled quite a lot. I don't know why. Anyhow, using lots of water again and a gentle sort of poking action. I don't want to mess up my drill. I have to say that I never really felt comfortable doing this. I'm not sure that it is that good for your drill. You've got to be so careful, especially as it goes deeper and deeper. I was listening very carefully to the sound of the drill. You will get used to that. As I've said before, you must listen and know the sounds of the drill. Okay, there you can see there's my little thing poking up through the ground, sort of matching the other foliage. I don't know if it's foliage. I forget what you call those tube-like creatures coming up from under the sea. So again, doing another one. I'll do a few more. Giving it a little wobble from side to side does kind of help widen the entrance. You can use a slightly bigger burr first if you want, and I'll be showing you that a little later. It's important to keep letting the water in. Of course, the shape of this shank, as you can see, gets wider, so you can't take that deep unless you have used a bigger burr first. That's just not logical. It's going to wreck your drill. And another one. Just so you know, this is running at 100% speed, my video I'm talking about, whereas I normally speed it up because there's so much more involved in the video. This one I'm running at 100%, so you also can see how fast I do this. I do it quite slowly and carefully. There you can see a couple more poking up from the bottom. Because on this piece, I want people to look into it and see all sorts of different things. Right, now here I thought I would try something different. This is a very long rat's tail. As you can see, it wobbles around a little bit, but not too bad. I'm going quite slowly into one of the holes. And basically, well, it's got diamond going all the way down the shaft, down the whole burr. But it really wasn't doing anything. I didn't fancy it. When you do this, don't sort of keep it too close to the edge. In other words, if you poke at it at an extreme angle, make sure that you have got a fair amount of thickness between the surface and the hole. Also here you can see that I'm really reaching the maximum width I can go to with this burr. So you really, really must be careful. Tube sponges, I believe they are called. Something like that anyway. They grow in great big clumps and groups and at different directions, so one can add many, many more and poking in different directions. Right, here I have a medium grit burr. I mean, you really can take a coarse one, but I don't have a coarse in this size at the moment. So I'm just using this medium grit. And much, much thicker, as you can see. And I'm just slowly creating the same sort of action. I actually am thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be the most boring video I've ever made. So I do apologize for that, but it is just one simple subject that, well, you may be interested in trying out and playing with and experimenting with. The main thing is don't be afraid. Use lots of water and take it slowly and carefully. You can see I'm swirling round and round a bit with this one. I think I would have preferred a coarser grit. It would have worked much, much quicker. And now back to the smaller diamond again. And you can see now I have got a lot more room to play with until I get deeper with this actual diamond up to where its own shank expands. You can see how deep it looks from this side. It's not really that deep in the grand scheme of things, but it is going to have quite an interesting outcome. Can you guess what this is going to look like? Oh dear. Then I decided to use an even smaller diamond. Quite unsuccessfully, really. This is quite an old diamond burr. In fact, a very, very old diamond burr. I think well, I always thought it was a sintered one, but to be honest, I can't remember. You can see I've touched the side of it with its little bit of red paint on it, and which I'll get off. But here we have a random bottle. A bottle with a funny little knob on the top. That, of course, was the tiny burr I used last. Just so you can see, I really rather am enjoying this, and I think with a bit more time one could make it quite interesting. However, as I've said, this video is purely to show you the most basic drilling of a tube, if you like, and the rest you can experiment with. So here you can see at the snout, under the snout of the seahorse in the distance, is another bottle. Maybe there's a sunken ship somewhere nearby. And maybe these bottles contain, I don't know, 400-year-old whiskey. How about that? Let your imagination flow. So here I'm using an ever so slightly larger diamond than the very small one, so if you know what I mean, and then going in with the smaller one, so there's only a small difference in size. And here you can see a slightly different, not quite bottle shape, but a slightly different tube-like effect, from chubby to a little bit thinner. Okie dokes. So now I'm going to do a little bit more polishing of the edges of the facets on this cullet. I had ground them down a tiny bit because of course the original edges were very, very sharp. And I have polished a little bit, but now I'm just going to show you a little bit more polishing. I'm using quite a hard rubber, and it's a new one, so it was a little bit bouncy, so I'm just taking it down a little bit to even it out so that it's not quite so bouncy on the glass. Be smoother now. That was just a polishing block, but you can use a stone burr if you want, sort of the back end of it or something like that, just to hold this against. And I am not running it fast at all. I can't remember what it was, probably about 25,000 if that RPM. Especially a new burr, which is really quite big and clumsy. And you don't need to be running it much faster. I'm not pressing hard either. And I'm not staying in one place for too long. Now I've got a fantastic large desktop polishing setup with two 12-inch wheels, one with cork that I use a pumice with, and then the other is felt, which I use cerium oxide with, and I will probably be using those to just give it a smoother and clearer finish. Of course, it will only be able to do parts of it because, as you can see, it's very undulating, and my great big wheel may not be able to get to much of the areas. There'll be little areas like where I am now, where I may struggle to get into. Possibly with the edge of the wheel, I might be able to, but you can get a pretty good finish with a nice hard black rubber wheel. If you watch the previous one of the previous videos of this piece, I've just used initially a stone burr. I can't even remember which stone burr. Might have been a pink one or something like that, and then maybe a bit of a Dura White before I started polishing, just to take the really sharp bits off. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and enjoy your 3D drilling. See you in the next video. Bye for now.